Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. In this video, I'm going to be showing off my brand new Hawkmoon. Mine got Eye of the Storm, and well, obviously I had several of them, but the one that I really landed on that I loved is the one with Eye of the Storm, and I'll talk about it here in this video. Fully masterworked at this point, obviously. Watch this, by the way. Look at the finesse. Look at that. Baiting the shotgunner into the throwing knife on the ground, the proximity detonation, stab him in the back. The shotgun apes. Holding forward, 3-tapping with this thing just feels so dang good, guys. It feels so dang good. If you have not gone through the effort of getting yourself a random roll on a Hawkmoon, oh, I love that cacaw. If you haven't gone through the effort of doing this yet, get it done. And this, let me show you this. This is Eye of the Storm, okay? This is Eye of the Storm. By the time he takes his first shot on me, right, Eye of the Storm is procced on me because I'm less than half shields. Now look where my reticle is. Look at that. Bam! Counts as a headshot. The next two are right on point. Obviously they connect, but that first one never would have connected without Eye of the Storm active. I'm telling you, Eye of the Storm is where it's at on this gun. I couldn't be more pleased with how it performs. It's a dueling machine. I mean, anytime you're in a duel, well, generally speaking, most duels you're going to get into, you're going to be taking damage. Now watch this. Check this out, by the way. This is the build that I'm using in this video. I'm going to talk about it here in a second, but watch this. So I commit to the duel on the guy in the air, but I'm getting pushed down low by shotgunner. Throw the proximity knife on the floor, bait him into it, and he's an easy cleanup. Back in Destiny 1, there's a video I made called I think it was something along the lines of Gunslinger equipment build. Back in Destiny 1. It was one of my more well-received builds. It was a cost subtraction, and people talked about it. Whenever I'd stream or not, they bring up that build because it was a really fun dynamic build. This right here is like the D2 version of it. So what I've got going on in this gameplay is a combination of a few things. I'm running the 6-shooter. Now watch that trip mine bait right there. Oh man, just tag him up, throw it on the wall, clean him up. You're gonna see a lot of tricky angles on the trip mines in this video, like that one there. Tagged both of those guys up. This guy shouldn't have jumped the second time. He's like, well, I'll jump once, I'll jump twice, and then bam, straight to the face. So this is really like the reiteration of that equipment build from Destiny 1 for me. I'm using the young Ahamkara's spine, and these are not new exotics. Obviously, they were in Destiny 1, but I love them. What they do, if you're not familiar with them, is it makes it so that your trip mine has a wider radius. When it blows up, it'll damage things in a wider radius, and it'll do a butt ton of damage. And they can't easily be, look at that collab, by the way. They can't easily be shot down. They have a ton of health, so your opponents can't just shoot them one time and blow them up. And they stick around for a long time, so you can set it and forget it and come back later. It's so nice. Now watch this again. Here's another example of look at that Eye of the Storm kicking in. Look at this. As soon as it kicks in, right here it's active. I'm gonna peek a second time here. I'm gonna roll out to break his aim assist, and then bam. And look where the reticle is. Look where that reticle is, guys. I drag a little bit to the right after that freeze frame, but still, I think that would have missed otherwise. And here's just a good example of this build in action. Remember this trip mine. I put it there next to the Mohawk because I know that shotgunners that get aggressive like to jump over that Mohawk. Sure enough, bam! It blows up right up into his crotch, and then I can easily clean him up. I grab the heavy, and at that point, it's just playing. It was just playing with your food. Look at this. Oh, man. Eye of the Storm is active with the cacaw shot, the paracausal. And then here you go. Look at this. Look at how much trip mine energy I get. What? Bloop. So, one another thing about this exotic, the young Ahamkara's spines, it makes it so that anytime you do ability damage, you're going to get a big chunk of cooldown energy for your grenade. Now, look at this. Look at this. I had a 5-stack for paracausal shot, which is not a one-hit kill. It did 178 to the head, but instead of reloading, even though it was on my last bullet, instead of reloading, knowing that it wasn't going to secure the kill, I decided to just use the trip mine or the proximity knife with it. Now look at this play here. So I threw the trip mine up high, it detonates, kills the guy on B. I threw the knife on the floor, 3-tapped guy number 2. Guy number 3, I shoot him with the hand cannon. He finishes me off with the Felonter's line. He's like, dude, I'm good, I'm fine, and slides right on top of the knife and dies. I get 3 kills. And I'll take that any day of the week. And that's really the joy of this build, is learning how to use all of your equipment advantageously. This is a fun moment here. I get a nice quad, but then right as I go for the 5th guy, he silences and squalls me to shut me down. And he was pretty excited about it. He gave a little dance, little danceroni. Very next life. Look at him go. That was the guy that danced him up. Look at him. He just goes yeeting into a wall. Freaking love it. The proximity knife I threw up to the right did detonate and finish up the guy that my teammate had primed. And then again, I have both cooldowns ready. Look at it. Wombo the corner. Bam. That guy's dead too. At this point, I opened up the menu, and sure enough, it's a team of 6 stasis. And I have to wonder why do bad things happen to good vanguards. But we put on our big girl panties, and we decided to deal with it and see what we can do with this build nonetheless. I ended up having a really monstrous game here. I highly recommend that you try this out. I highly recommend you try this out. I know stasis is all the rage, but when you kind of get the rhythm and understand what you can do with these grenades and with these proximity knives, it'll dramatically change up how you deal with rushing players and how you deal with players who break for cover. Now remember that trip mine I put on the wall? Bam, there it is, detonates, tags up 2 guys, and my teammates are able to easily clean up both of those guys that I primed. Then I land the snipe of my life on the 3rd guy. That's a joke, he was frozen and couldn't move. But either way, there's 4 kills right there. There's 4 kills right there, all because I put a trip mine on a wall and it teed everything up. These things are pretty powerful. Trip mine on the wall, bam, takes out the rushing warlock mid-super. I tagged him up and threw that on the wall. That wider cone, that wider radius is so nice. A lot of people don't use trip mines because it's so hard to get consistent use out of them. The problem is that a lot of times people will run through the trip mine, it'll activate, right? It'll set it off. But then by the time it detonates, they're already outside of the cone and they don't take any damage to it or very limited damage to it. So try it out. Try it. I know stasis is all the rage, but take the time to experiment with some of these other builds. And it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. Especially for me right now, I'm just really trying to focus on the weapons in Beyond Light that I really like using. Not so much the abilities, but I'm trying to find out how I can create builds and have a playstyle that's going to supplement my gunplay. Not the other way around. Not the other way around. And one of the things I had mentioned earlier in the video was about how a lot of times I'll save my paracausal stacks. Like I'll get to the point where I have 4 or 5 and I'm on my final bullet, and it's like, you know, the math doesn't check out. I can't one-tap somebody, so why would I take my 1 bullet left in the mag into a gunfight? By the way, I love shutting these things down. These behemoths, oh, feels good. I'll tell you a story about how I choked one of those in just a second. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just, when I get to that final bullet in the magazine, I'm like, oh crap, I've got 5 stacks or 4 stacks. I know it's not a one-tap. What I'll do is I'll just look at my cooldowns and see what else do I have to supplement that damage. And a lot of times if I have a knife or a celestial fire attack, if I'm on warlock, or I have a grenade charge like an arc bolt, fire bolt, something like that. Oh, look at that wombo combo. Baited him into it perfectly. Then I'll save that last shot in the magazine and I'll just go to my next fight and give him the old 1-2 punch. And here's a good example of it. So I get 4 stacks right here and 1 bullet left in the mag, but instead of reloading, I take the 4 stacks, I shoot the 1 shot, do 127 to the head, throw the proximity knife, and sure enough, it cleans up the last guy. Now, I promised I would tell you a story about me choking, and this is something that happened today. Unfortunately, I thought, as it happened, I was thinking, man, this is going to be great for the video I'm working on. So I landed every shot in the magazine. Every shot in the magazine, come down to the final bullet in the mag on Hawkmoon. I've got the full paracausal times 7. And I'm like, ooh, baby. I got the big cacaw. And I heard a Titan Behemoth activate his super, and I thought, oh, this is going to be gold for YouTube. Shutting down a Behemoth with 1 bullet from a primary weapon. Yes, please. And sure enough, he ran right at me. He wasn't doing his Goku fly at the time. He was just running me down, getting ready to do his light attack on me. And I lined it up, and I overthought it, and I took the shot, and I missed horribly, just horribly. And so unfortunately, I don't have a one-hit kill on a behemoth to show in this video because I choked it. But anyways, final play here was pretty clean. I was getting pushed by 4 guys, including a super. I juked out of the super, used the equipment to shut the other 3 down. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I certainly had a lot of fun playing with this build. Looking forward to using this build live on stream tomorrow. If you ever want to stop by, TrueVanguard.com, we'd love to see you. We stream 5 days a week generally, although this week I took 1 day off. But generally we stream 5 days a week. We mix it up. Sometimes it's Destiny. Well, oftentimes it's Destiny. Other times it's Apex Legends or whatever other variety games I'm into at the time. But I'd love to see you there. We have a wonderfully warm and welcoming community there. feel free to stop by. Also, check out our podcast, RGH, Real Gamer Hour. It's a live show, really, that we host every week, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Real Gamer Hour YouTube channel, which I'll put a link in the description too. And we'd love to see you there sometime. It's me, MTashed, and Cactus HD. We talk about anything gaming related, whether it's news, drama, whatever. But it's not just limited to Destiny. It's the whole gaming community in its entirety and anything that's relevant that week. And we tend to have a lot of fun with it, so hope to see you there sometime. Thanks for watching the video. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.